The Staffordshire Bull Terrier is often referred to as the staff bull or staffy. Dogs owe their origin, not to any trends of the times or certain needs, but to the search for profit. In the first half of the 19th century, the poor English found themselves such entertainment as dog fighting, which began to gain not only popularity, but also generate income. The dogs fought for a reason, but for money, acting in the form of bets. The presence of cash bets further piqued the crowd's interest in this fierce competition. Initially, bulldogs took part in fights, then various terriers were used. Gradually, fights became commonplace and were no longer so interested in the poor, so dog owners began to think about creating such a dog suit that would stir up an unprecedented interest in fights and enrich them. Experiments began, during which bull and terriers appeared. They were the result of crossing bulldogs with English terriers. Such dogs fought more skillfully, were much more resourceful, reckless and possessed lightning-fast high-speed reactions. In addition, the four-legged had an excellent ability to think, in connection with which the new show in the form of rat baiting became popular. Further improvement and experimentation with the bull and terrier breed proceeded spontaneously. Breeders in this regard did not have any restrictions. The result was the emergence of three types of staff. The Varleston type was distinguished by its small size, optimal fatness and short limbs, like a bulldog. The Cradle type was compact, but strong, had a developed and powerful backbone. Varsal type is more similar to terriers, distinguished by its long legs and lean figure. The current look inherent in modern dogs, the staffies got hold of closer to the second half of the 19th century. The breed standard was spelled out only in 1935, when dog fights became illegal. The standard in appearance of these dogs was precisely the Cradle type, in which stockiness and power were visible. Staffordshire Bull Terrier, breed description. Staffordshire Bull Terriers can be called smooth-haired stocky big men with a powerful chest and highly intelligent, monitoring everything around their eyes. Outwardly, staffies are similar to pit bulls, but they also have their own characteristics that are unique to this breed. Interesting fact, among the obvious differences, it is worth noting the smiling staffy, which he owes to the developed muscles of the cheeks and a wide skull, and the dog is shorter than the pit bull. The growth of the staff at the withers can reach 40 centimeters, the weight of males varies from 17 to 20 kilograms, and of females, about 15 kilograms. The shape of the staffy's skull is quite wide, but at the same time it is compact, the stop is clearly visible, and the muzzle itself is not long in comparison with the entire head. The presence of powerful and developed jaws is immediately striking, because dogs have an outstanding grip. The bite must be complete and correct. The tip of a dog's nose, lobe, is medium in size and rich in black. Ideal for a staff bull are considered to be round, set straight and with a dark shade of dog eyes. But in life, dogs are often found with a light color of the iris, which is in complete harmony with the color of the coat. Staff bull ears are similar in shape to a flower petal, semi-erect and not very large. A unique feature of the dog is its neck, which looks rather dense and short, making the physique stocky, strong and stocky. The whole figure of the staffy is rather knocked down, powerful, the dog's body is slightly elongated, has a perfectly flat back, a deep and solid chest, spreading out in width. The front canine limbs are slender, have shoulder blades laid back, rather powerful, strong wrists and paws that look outward. The hind legs are more muscular, with the lower legs tilted and the hocks low. The dog's tail does not differ in oblongness, it is short, straight and low set. Popular colors of Staffordshire Bull Terriers. Staff bulls are classified as short-haired dogs. They have a rather tough coat in tandem with the rough skin of animals, perfectly adapted to protect the body during fights and fights. These dogs have no undercoat. Popular, most typical, colors include amber, reddish, light dominant, gray, blue, the black. It is worth noting that a two-color combination of color is acceptable. The former marks in the color do not belong to a disadvantage. Let's try to describe in more detail some of the dog colors. Red-haired staff bulls are quite popular and have a variety, differing in some shades and range. For example, a sable coat is considered a dog's coat, the main tone of the hairs of which is red, and the tips are dark. Often, dogs of this color have a kind of dark mask on their muzzle. Many experts consider the gray, blue color to be black lightened. Often, the eyes and the nose are also lighter in such four-legged. The zone gray color includes dogs that have a solid gray coat color, black nose and dark eyes. Interesting fact, there is also a brindle color among the staffies. It can have rare dark stripes against the general background of a rather light color, and it also happens vice versa. The black background is diluted with infrequent lighter streaks, stripes. This color is called dark variegated. As noted, white patches are common in the different colors of the staff bulls and are not considered faults. In many dogs, rare, single, small white spots are observed against a common monochrome background. In other tetrapods, on the contrary, very little of the dark color remains, it turns into separate spots, so the dogs look almost white. Undesirable colors of the Staffordshire Bull Terrier include tan color, black and tan, brown and tan, or liver-colored wool. The nature and habits of the Staffordshire Bull Terriers. Many people mistakenly think that the Staff Bulls are too aggressive and unfriendly, apparently due to their fighting history of origin. This is not entirely true. Today's dogs can be safely called peaceful and quite friendly animals. Experts assure that the Staff are most human-oriented, although the whole appearance does not confirm this. A competently educated and balanced Bull Terrier respects its owner very much and above all values friendship with him. For him, communication with his beloved friend is the most expensive reward. The four-legged is ready to act everywhere as an escort, so you need to understand that the attention from the Staff will be constant. Staffies do not feel great joy seeing other dogs or felines, but they are not very bloodthirsty towards them. Of course, running after a gawker cat or teaching a dog a lesson is considered natural for them. It is possible to train a Staff Bull to live under the same roof with other pets, but this must be done diligently from the very childhood of a dog. Interesting fact, Staffordshire Bull Terriers treat children very favorably because do not consider them rivals. They behave with little ones affectionately and prudently, trying to show care and attention. It is very interesting to follow the changing emotions of the Staff when he sees the child. If even a few minutes ago the dog was fighting with some other dog, seeing a child, it immediately transforms. It can start lying right on the territory of the playground, waiting for the little one to show attention, and scratch the four-legged belly. Of course, it is necessary to control such communication, because provocations from babies can be sophisticated. But time shows that the Staff Bulls do not enter into conflict with the inhabitants of the sandboxes, showing restraint and friendliness. A dog with a fighting history imposes certain obligations on its owner, first of all, regarding training and socialization, from which one cannot evade, because an ignorant Staff Bull who does not know commands is a threat to others. Yes, aggressiveness towards people and other animals in these dogs is reduced, but no one talks about perfect harmlessness. The best and optimal training program for Staffies is their General Course, OCD. During training, you will have to show patience and endurance. The main thing is to establish your authority. Staff Bulls are distinguished by their stubbornness, a kind of self-will, which results in the fact that they change commands and act at their own discretion. It is worth noting that pressure on the dogs will not help matters, but only aggravate everything. The Staffy will not tolerate cruelty and rudeness. Interesting facts about Staffordshire Bull Terriers. There are different opinions about such an amazing and extraordinary dog breed like the Staff Bull, but there is a number of interesting facts that take place. They characterize the image of this four-legged person, describing it from various angles. Let's try to bring the most entertaining ones, listing them point by point. The adjective Staffordshire for the Bull Terrier was fixed due to the fact that the breed appeared in the English county of Staffordshire in the 19th century. The Staffordshire Bull Terrier is often called the nanny dog because of its reverent and friendly attitude towards children. The rat-catcher talent is in the blood of the Staff Bulls. The most famous in this regard was the dog Billy, which in 1823 strangled 100 rats in a 5-minute period of time, which attacked her with fury. For decades, Staff Bulls have been the living mascots of the Prince of Wales Staffordshire Regiment. In order to breed this particular breed, bulldogs were crossed with all kinds of terriers. Recognition of the breed standard occurred in 1974. Since that time the Bull Terriers were divided into American and English. Staffies have a high pain threshold, so they can very patiently endure even serious injuries, trauma. Staff Bulls should not be overcooled or overheated, so these dogs are recommended to be kept in apartments. Staffies are real athletes. They can show their class in such sports disciplines as freestyle, dog frisbee, coursing and agility. The Staff Bull is a dynamic and active breed that prefers an accelerated life rhythm to lying on the couch with fun and active games and grueling jogging. Pros and cons of Staffordshire Bull Terriers. Like any other breed, the Staffy has its advantages and disadvantages, although the owners consider their favorites to be just perfect. Let's try to objectively and from the outside look at the Staff Bulls, describing all the minuses and pluses of their content. The advantages of the Staff. Unlimited love, respect and devotion to their owner, of course, are the indisputable dignity of the dog, but it is formed through careful training and training. Love for children can also be attributed to the pluses, since these powerful four-legged are very sensitive to toddlers and take care of the kids, like real nannies. The compactness of the dimensions testifies in favor of the breed. It is convenient to keep such a dog both in a large house and in a medium-sized apartment. Short wool is an important plus, because special care is not required for it, and shreds will not be scattered everywhere. The dog is unpretentious in content, which is a tangible advantage. Being friendly towards others is very important, especially with such a powerful and uncompromising canine form. Among the pluses is the possession of courage and fearlessness. Cons of the breed. The main disadvantages include human opinion, which is often negatively disposed towards this dog due to its aggressive past. People react cautiously to staffies, considering them dangerous. Although, if you remember, then these four-legged fought only with their own kind, without attacking a person. The compulsory training is a disadvantage for many owners, and training is very important for a staff bull, because such a dog needs to be taught communication and obedience skills from childhood. Excessive energy can also be considered a disadvantage. You need to do a lot with the staff, developing not only his intellect, but also his physical activity, and this should take a lot of time, because the dog needs long and dynamic walks. Stubbornness of character is also considered a disadvantage. Because of this trait, many difficulties arise during training, so you should be patient. Breeding Staffordshire Bull Terriers. The knitting of the staff bulls is no different, it is quite standard. Medium dimensions do not require huge space or special conditions, but for the first mating it is better to call an experienced specialist in this matter who can help not only the dogs, but also their owners. Sexually mature staffies become closer to 10 months of age, but it is better to mate from 20 or 25 months, then the dogs are ready, not only for conception, but also for bearing strong offspring. The most favorable period is considered to be from 13 to 15 days from the time the third estrus began. The female these days can be either playful or slightly aggressive. If the dogs are breeding, have a pedigree, then mating must be done through a kennel. For this you need to fill out a special form and obtain a specific certificate. Owners should agree in advance on the amount and time, which is usually appointed by the owner of the dog. Most often, it is a percentage of the price of the entire litter, or is equal to the cost of one puppy. Interesting fact, dogs are introduced when walking together, it takes no more than 20 minutes. Then the female is taken into the possession of the dog, so that he feels his confidence. Many owners believe that a dog accustomed to domestic intercourse will not look for passion on the side. The female is allowed to do the cage if she is satisfied with everything. During intercourse, which lasts about 15 minutes, it is recommended to hold the bitch by the head. Remating is carried out a couple of days after the first. Most often, there are from 6 to 8 puppies in a litter, and a staff bull canine life is 14 years. Care of Staffordshire Bull Terriers. Short-haired bull terriers do not need special care for their fur coat, they can be combed during molting periods, spring and autumn. There is no constant need for this procedure, it rather acts as a stimulating massage. Water procedures need to be arranged monthly, but only once. Wash the staff with a diluted shampoo, formulated specifically for short-haired dogs. They wipe the pet by simply blotting the towel. You can comb the pet with a rubber mitten. An important fact, it is forbidden to take a dry staff bull outside, it is dangerous for him. In winter, the four-legged can be washed less often, once every 2 or 3 months. It is imperative to examine the dog's ears and eyes, washing them with a moistened cotton pad to remove dust and accumulated sulfur. Lacrimation in the eyes and unpleasant odor from the ears indicate a health problem, so it is better to go to the veterinarian for a consultation. The most frequent and cumbersome procedure that a staffy needs to do is brushing. It is carried out with a brush and a special